I stuck a for sale sign in my yard and sold my house 2 days later, packed up everything I had. And this is at 30 years old, and I still hadn't learned how to play the guitar. I'd done some writing, but at 30, I left Utah and moved out to Nashville, met some friends, and it was about 7 years later that I had my first cut, which was ended up being a single at a major label deal. Warner Brothers record with a band called Dirt Drifters. The song was called There She Goes. And what's funny, I've got this hoodie on, this John Prine hoodie. My second week in Nashville, I was at Christmas Eve at John Prine's house, and I had no idea the company that I was in. And we had stayed up all night. John likes to play snooker, and his younger brother Billy was my roommate, and it was Christmas Eve, and we're going to play some snooker. The people that were at the dinner were incredible, and we got into a couple of bottles of Jameson, and it was Ferguson, who was Johnny Cash's producer, as well as the project that John was working on at that time, and John, and Billy and myself, and about 2:30 in the morning, we decided to go to bed. And I am well along my way. Spins in the bed, and I'm like, I don't want to throw up in this man's bedroom. He's been so kind. So I get up and I go to the kitchen because I'm going to get a glass of water. And my backpack, John had a breakfast nook, and my backpack was sitting there on the ground, and I picked it up and I pulled a notebook out, and I sat down at the little table, and I got into about a paragraph of a note. And basically it was, Dear John, thank you so much for opening your heart and home. I mean, they had gifts for me. I'd been in town 2 weeks, and this family, who is, Prine's a legend, made me feel like I was the special one there that Christmas Eve. And I'd gotten about a paragraph out about thank you, I appreciate it so much, and I got up to get a glass of water. And I walked to the corner, and I'm opening cabinets because I don't know where the glasses are, okay? And I get the second cabinet open, and I hear, and I turn around, and John's standing there in this patchwork quilt robe, and he's got his arms folded. And he's looking at me like, who did my brother invite into this house, and why are you rummaging through my kitchen? What are you going to do, sell my whiskey glasses on eBay? That's the look, right? But he was standing right where I had wrote that note. And he looked down, and he read the note. And I watched his whole demeanor change. And he said, what are you doing? And I tried to say, I was gonna get a drink of water, and I got out, I was gonna get a drink. And he goes, oh, you wanna have another drink? And I'm not gonna tell John Prine no. So I was like, yeah. And he goes, all right, go 2 cabinets over, open it up. Went 2 cabinets over, opened it up. He says, pull 2 rocks glasses down. I set them on the counter, and I looked at him. My world's already spinning. And he goes, you like it neat? And I said, I like it any way you want to drink it with me, John. He said, okay, go 1 more cabinet over. Went 1 more cabinet over, opened up the shelves. He said, you see that brand new bottle of Jameson? Get it down and pour us one. Brand new bottle of Jameson, opened it up, poured 2 glasses of Jameson whiskey neat, walked over and sat down. And he was sitting where I wrote the note, and I was sitting across, and I slid that whiskey glass across to him, and he says, so Billy tells me you want to be a songwriter. And I said, yes, sir. More than anything in the world. I came here to write songs. He goes, man, that's really good. Can you do anything else? I said, oh, yes, sir, I sure can. I'm a degreed manufacturing engineer, and blah, blah, blah. And he stopped me and he said, good, go do that. And all of a sudden I realized, I'm like, okay. And he said, because I'm going to tell you what. And by that time I was like, oh man, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. He said, Blue, if you came here to Nashville to impress anybody, you're not going to. This is a mecca for the entire world of songwriting. Everybody comes here to write a song. He said, but I'll tell you right now, you go build yourself a life here. And the music pendulum will swing like the music pendulum does. And one day, you'll be making your life in music. And it was the best advice I ever got. I took his word. I had money in the bank at that time. I had an unemployment check coming in from my previous engineering job. I was set, but I went to work at Dell Computer Company, and I hired Matt Fleener, Ryan Fleener, Casey Wood, Joel Shoemake, Billy Prine. Those boys that I hired ended up in a major label deal that got me my first cut that went on the radio, and that was advice from John Prine. Best shit I ever got. And that brought me here to Montana, and I'm grateful to be here.
That's life, man. That's living life. That's freaking insane.
That's how I became a songwriter. And I spent 7 years, I've cleaned stripper poles, toilets, picked up after people, done everything that I can to make this work. And then I get to spend a week in a place like this. It's all worth it.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Woo-wee, who wants to fight?
Man, those are...
All right, what else you got?
I don't know. You just threw it all out there.
Sometimes you got to, man. I'm damn glad to be here.
Yeah. I mean, those are fortunate mistakes.
Amen.
Fortunate mistakes.
Amen.
That led you on that path.
Taking a man's advice when I thought he was breaking me down, and then what he did was he gave me everything I need to make it in one conversation on Christmas Eve when he got up to be Santa for his two boys. And this is a living legend. And it's how I became a songwriter. So there you go. What else you got? Let's go on to the next question. I lost my virginity at...
Oh, shit.